Welcome back to Celebrial. Because the timeline is saying Solange still has her foot on Jay-Z's neck, and she's pressing down harder than ever. Just days after she allegedly called him out for being a handler and blackballing people in the industry, she's now being linked to a new claim that's blowing up online. That Jay allegedly cheated on Beyoncé, not once, not twice, but 12 times. Yeah, 12.
What I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they live.
And if that number sounds unreal, that's exactly why the internet is spiraling. Because Solange isn't moving like she's joking. The way this is being framed, she's coming like she's on a mission to drag every buried secret into daylight. So now the big question is, what's really fueling this? Is she just done staying quiet? Or is she hinting that there's more the public still doesn't know? Either way, if she's truly waving what she claims are receipts, the timeline is already treating this like it's about to get uglier. And 2025 social media is eating it up.
Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all those records together. They both, Aaliyah, they shared so much.
Fans are calling it Solange versus the system, because she's not just talking, she's dropping hints, like she's done watching Beyoncé stay loyal, while Jay moves reckless. And now the internet is running with the next question. Is Solange implying Jay cut off an old fling to protect Beyoncé's image? Because that's how people are reading her shade. Not as petty drama, but as a push to make Beyoncé finally see the truth, which is why the divorce whispers are getting louder again. The timeline thinks Solange is basically pressuring Beyoncé to make a move. But people are split.
And in this book, I talk about how Beyoncé has indoctrinated so many modern day women to think that they can replace their man, to be single, be independent, be strong, whatever. But when push came to shove and Jay-Z cheated on her, her ass stayed put right there. Why? Because Jay-Z's a billionaire. He's successful. He has more status than she does. And here's the problem. Beyoncé has status too. But how many men are going to rise up to Beyoncé's level?
Like Jay-Z.
Dragging your sister's husband publicly is bold, messy, and can embarrass the whole family. Still, supporters say Solange feels this is the only way to break what she sees as a toxic loop. And of course, everyone brings up the elevator incident, because in the internet's mind, that wasn't random. The rumor has always been she found out something that night, and she snapped. Now in 2025, the timeline is saying she's not letting it go. She's digging, posting, and moving like she wants the world to see Jay-Z with no filter. And the timeline says she's not doing it alone.
Told you before, Aaliyah was SA'd as a minor by several producers and was treated like a piece of meat to be bought and sold by different producers up until the time that she passed.
People claim she's backing singer Maya, revisiting old rumors that Jay allegedly tried to get close during studio sessions. And, when it didn't go his way, he supposedly used influence to make things difficult for her. Now there's even chatter about a producer from that era, confirming a tense studio moment, painting Jay as entitled, easily offended, and quick to flex power. And Solange is using stories like that to push one message. Jay's influence didn't just shape hits. It allegedly shaped who got opportunities and who got iced out.
Free Britney, y'all need to be doing a campaign that say free Beyonce.
Beyonce is free.
She is a prisoner in a guilt.
And then the internet does what it always does. It pulls the elevator moment back into the conversation and asks, was that night really random, or was it years of buildup finally exploding? Yep. Once Maya's name got attached to cheating rumors, the internet went into full detective mode. Old photos resurfaced, blogs ran wild, and then Lemonade dropped. And Becky with the good hair made everybody point fingers even harder. But Maya shut it down publicly. When a fan straight up asked if she had an 11-year affair with Jay-Z, she responded, "Never did, never was, never will."
Before, Aaliyah was SA'd as a minor by several producers and was treated like a piece of meat to be bought and sold by different producers up until the time that she passed away. A couple of years after she passed away, a fairly large record producer started making some calls about a singer he had working out of his studio.
She followed it up saying she plays second to no one, pays her own bills, and respects herself, and marriage too much for that. Later, in an interview, Maya suggested her career took hits because she refused pressure from someone powerful in the industry. She didn't name names, but the internet started side-eyeing anyway. Now, in 2025, Solange is dragging that whole storyline back into the light and basically saying, the pattern is the point, alleging Jay moved on women, and when they didn't play along, their careers allegedly suffered. And when the reaction didn't hit as hard as expected, Solange went even bigger, claiming Jay's been cheating on Beyoncé since day one. Solange is basically saying the Carter timeline isn't as clean as the public version.
She was 15 and eager, and soon different label heads were scouting her. And this is allegedly Tierra Marie. She was sold to this pseudo corn star and celebrity sibling. Can also take a guess at that one. He loves controlling vulnerable women. It is his specialty. Anyway, he started controlling the career of this singer. He brought her to the attention of this A-plus list rapper and mogul.
She resurfaced an old clip where Jay-Z said he met Beyoncé 10 years earlier during a 2007 interview, which would land the start point around 1997. And once the internet did the math, the comments went nuclear. Because depending on dates, that would have made Beyoncé much younger, while Jay was already grown. Solange didn't even need to over-explain. She just highlighted the numbers and let the timeline argue. Then she piled on more allegations, claiming Jay's first affair happened early in the relationship.
I eased up, but then we ran into each other. It's a long story.
So you and Jay was both getting at Aaliyah. Obviously,
everybody was getting at Aaliyah, but
right.
She was like, she'll go to dinner with her, but she wasn't going to just be smashing. So that was like the big deal, like who could get with Aaliyah.
Allegedly with Charlie Baltimore, and hinting that jealousy and ego played a role when that situation shifted. And to darken the vibe even more, she dragged up Jay's old stabbing arrest story, basically framing it as another example of how messy things were behind the scenes, while the public was being sold a polished narrative. But Solange is hinting that the old stabbing story wasn't really about leaked music at all. The official version has always been, Jay ran into a producer at a club, things escalated, and it turned into a stabbing over bootlegs. That's the story the public's heard for years.
Knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't give a if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious. But maybe that was because he was the girl that didn't want you.
Solange is calling cap on that. She's pushing a different motive, jealousy. Her claim is that Jay allegedly found out Charlie Baltimore had started dating that same producer, and that's what supposedly triggered the whole crash out. And once that angle started circulating again, people dragged up old commentary from other rappers who've also hinted it wasn't about the album. It was about a woman. So now, in 2025, the internet is treating this like a buried chapter getting reopened. And if anyone thought that was the end of Solange's list, she went even further, throwing out another name that instantly set the timeline on fire. Aaliyah.
So, this is going to be hard for me. Because his friends were laughing at him and shit.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I might have a question since we're talking about Aaliyah. and ignore me if it's too much, but do you have any opinion on the R. Kelly situation? Do you think he got railroaded or he's there,
Solange claims Jay was allegedly chasing Aaliyah while still connected to Beyoncé, even before things went public. And the messy part is, Dame Dash was already involved with Aaliyah too. Most people would assume Jay backs off out of respect, but Solange is basically saying that's not how it went. According to Solange, Jay's interest in Aaliyah wasn't casual. She frames it like it was intense enough to shake friendships and business ties. In her telling, it created real tension with Dame Dash, especially once Aaliyah started dating Dame. And Dame has spoken before about there being drama between them, implying that emotions around Aaliyah affected their bond.
By the time all of the ink was dry, she was just shy of being legal, but that didn't stop the mogul. He liked to sample the new talent. He was sampling her on a fairly regular basis, but he was also involved with the current A-plus list singer who was in his face every day. And this could allegedly...
So now, in 2025, those old whispers are echoing again. And Solange is pushing the idea that this is the pattern, obsession, power, and personal life mixing with business. She's also hinting that once Aaliyah chose Dame, Jay allegedly didn't just take it as an L, he moved differently. Hurt, but calculating. And Jaguar Wright backs that same revenge energy, claiming Jay didn't just take it personal, he took it strategic, allegedly undercutting Dame and tightening control over Rock just to get even. Solange is framing it as a repeat pattern. When Jay allegedly loses a woman, the fallout gets aimed at the men around her. Business, power, ego, all of it. And she didn't stop at Aaliyah and Charlie. She threw another name into the mix. Amal, a rock-era artist who was around Jay during that Hard Knock Life run, and even crossed paths with Beyoncé's world. Solange's implication is basically, while Beyoncé was becoming the public story, there were other women in the background. And Jay was allegedly living a double life. And that's why, in 2025, this hits different. Because once those old names start resurfacing again, the untouchable image starts looking a lot shakier. And the streets start talking. Amil has said she hasn't spoken to Jay in years, but she still wanted closure and made it sound like there was love there, not hate. And that's exactly why the internet keeps reading emotion between the lines. But Solange isn't letting anyone get comfortable, because she keeps widening the list in 2025, dragging old rumors and headlines back into daylight. And the name that instantly reignites everything is Kathy Anna White. Back around 2010-2011, blogs pushed rumors that Kathy and Jay-Z were more than friends, especially after chatter about a party where Diddy was allegedly around too. Once photos hit the blogs, people treated it like a timestamp and started claiming Jay was stepping out again, even during the era Beyoncé was pregnant with Blue Ivy. Then the story turned dark fast. Reports said Kathy was found dead shortly after the rumors flared up, and the aftermath looked messy online. Pages disappearing, conflicting explanations circulating, including aneurysm claims. That confusion is a big reason the internet still side-eyes the whole situation. And just to be clear, people have thrown heavy accusations for years, but none of that has been proven. It's still speculation that keeps getting recycled every time these names resurface. Even in 2025, the Kathy White story is still one of those celebrity mysteries the internet won't let die. And Solange, bringing her name back up, just reopened old wounds and even wilder theories. And she didn't stop there. Next, she drags in Claudia Schellin, the Belgian beauty queen, who's hinted she had a moment with Jay-Z. Claudia described him sending over an Ace of Spades bottle, flirting heavy, and strongly implying they spent the night. And what set people off is her claim that Beyoncé and Blue Ivy never came up once. Then Solange adds another name, Taira Marie. The rumor chain says Beyoncé allegedly stepped in and shut that situation down. And fans point to the old story about Taira being dropped from Rock as not the full truth, claiming it was more scandal than sales. And just like that, the internet starts connecting dots again. Messy timelines, resurfaced blind items, and heavy speculation. But to be clear, a lot of this is still unverified talk, not proven fact. Yeah, none of this should be treated like fact. But what people remember is Taira was very young during that era, and the timeline always looked messy. She went public with Ray J in 2006, right after she was dropped from Rock, and that alone kept the chatter alive. And Solange is using Taira's name in 2025 to make a bigger point. How many young women got pulled into powerful circles, then quietly disappeared when things got complicated? Because here's the part that doesn't line up for a lot of people. If Tierra's album supposedly flopped so badly she got dropped instantly, why was she still in the studio working on a second project? That's why old blind item rumors resurfaced, claiming it wasn't about sales at all. It was allegedly jealousy and a behind-the-scenes triangle. The rumor mill says Jay wanted control. Ray J entered the picture, and Beyoncé allegedly stepped in and shut it down. Again, that's speculation, not proof, but it's exactly the kind of missing logic Solange is highlighting to keep the timeline questioning everything. Rumor-wise, the story goes that Jay went scorched earth, and that Beyoncé didn't want any lingering mess attached to her brand, so Tierra got pushed completely out of the picture. People even claim blacklist energy. Doors closing, deals drying up, features disappearing. Again, that's gossip, not proven. But Solange is using it to make a bigger point. Behind the luxury and the spotless headlines, fans think there's been chaos and power used to control narratives. And yeah, Jay's admitted infidelity before, then turned it into art and business with 44. That's why the internet says he moves like chess, flipping scandal into strategy. Now the chatter gets darker because paternity rumors always resurface, and some people attach age-related claims to that, which is serious territory. So it has to be said clearly, nothing is confirmed, and it's not something to treat like fact or play with lightly. That story just won't die. It loops back every few years, and with names like Jaguar Wright and Solange getting tied into the conversation again, the internet is eating it up. People in the comments are acting like everything is connected. Tierra Marie, Rihanna, Aaliyah, even Beyoncé. But let's keep it real. Internet talk is not proof, and a lot of this is still unconfirmed. Still, what's keeping people locked in is this. Solange is teasing that she's not done, like she's still sitting on receipts. And if she ever drops anything solid, the timeline thinks it could spark another major storm around the Carter empire. So, what do you think? Is Jay-Z truly untouchable? Or is Solange about to flip the whole script? Drop your take in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next update. Click the next video on your screen. More celebrity drama is coming up right now.